The South China Sea is one of the world's most vital and fiercely contested waterways, a region where geography, economics, and politics collide on a global scale. This vast expanse of water links major Asian economies, serving as a crucial artery for international trade. Every year, nearly a third of all global shipping passes through these waters, carrying trillions of dollars worth of goods, everything from electronics and oil to food and raw materials. The world's supply chains depend on the safe passage of ships through this narrow corridor. But the South China Sea is more than just a shipping lane. Beneath its surface lies some of the world's richest fisheries, providing food and jobs for millions of people. The seabed is also believed to hold vast reserves of oil and natural gas, resources that could transform the fortunes of any nation that controls them. Control over these waters means more than economic power. It's about food security, energy independence, and military advantage. Whoever dominates the South China Sea can shape the future of the entire region. For the Philippines, what they call the West Philippine Sea is not just a spot on the map, it's a source of daily livelihood for countless fishermen, a symbol of national identity, and a cornerstone of their security and sovereignty. When China began asserting sweeping claims over nearly the entire sea, tensions soared. Chinese ships, artificial islands, and military outposts have transformed the region into a flashpoint, setting the stage for a high-stakes confrontation that draws in neighboring countries and even global powers. The question of who truly owns these waters and their resources has become one of the defining geopolitical challenges of the 21st century, with international courts and diplomatic summits struggling to find a peaceful solution. For ordinary Filipinos, these waters are not just lines on a map. They are a tangible part of their daily lives, their history, and their hopes for the future. The sea provides food, work, and a sense of belonging. The ongoing struggle for the South China Sea is about more than territory. It's a battle over sovereignty, resources, and the very rules that will shape the future of the international order in Asia and beyond. At the heart of the South China Sea conflict are two clashing visions that have shaped not just the region but the very idea of sovereignty and power in Asia. This is a story of ambition, history, and the struggle for control over one of the world's most strategic waterways. China claims nearly the entire sea, citing centuries-old historic rights marked by its sweeping nine-dash line. For Beijing, these waters are not just a matter of geography, but a legacy passed down through generations, rooted in ancient maps and stories of imperial voyages. The nine-dash line, drawn after World War II, is more than a border. It's a symbol of national pride and a vision of restored greatness. The Philippines, by contrast, bases its claim on modern international law, specifically the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS. This treaty, signed by over 160 countries, sets clear rules for maritime boundaries and resource rights, aiming to prevent conflict and ensure fairness among nations. Under UNCLOS, coastal states are granted a 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone, or EEZ, giving the Philippines rights to fish, oil, and gas close to its shores. For millions of Filipinos, these waters are a lifeline, feeding families, fueling industries, and sustaining coastal communities. But China's nine-dash line cuts deep into this zone, overlapping with areas like Reed Bank and Mischief Reef, places rich in resources and vital to the Philippine economy. Here, the lines on the map become flashpoints for confrontation. The result is constant tension. Chinese vessels patrol these contested waters, often harassing Filipino fishermen, blocking access to fishing grounds and preventing oil and gas exploration. Each encounter is a reminder of the power imbalance and the risks faced by ordinary people. For China, control of the South China Sea means power, security, and influence over vital shipping lanes. For the Philippines, it's about defending sovereignty, protecting livelihoods, and upholding the rule of law in the face of a much larger neighbor. This is a classic clash: historical ambition versus legal rights, tradition versus modernity. The world's courts and diplomats are left to untangle a dispute where both sides see themselves as rightful heirs to the sea. The stakes are existential for the Philippines, threatening food security and national identity. For the rest of the world, it's a test of whether global rules can stand up to power politics and whether small nations can find justice on the international stage. The world is watching closely, as every move in these waters is broadcast across continents. The outcome will set a precedent for international law and the balance of power in the 21st century. The outcome will shape Asia's future, determining not just who controls the sea, but how nations resolve their deepest conflicts in a rapidly changing world. In 2012, the tense standoff at Scarborough Shoal marked a significant turning point in the South China Sea conflict. This event was not just a mere confrontation, it was a pivotal moment that would reshape regional dynamics. Filipino sailors determined to protect their nation's sovereignty attempted to stop Chinese fishermen from poaching in their waters. However, China responded with a strategic blockade, escalating tensions further. Outnumbered and outgunned, the Philippines had no choice but to withdraw. Meanwhile, China maintained its presence, effectively seizing control of the shoal, a move that would have lasting implications. As a result, Filipino fishermen lost access to their traditional fishing grounds, a devastating blow to their livelihoods. Manila learned a hard lesson: military might alone couldn't protect its rights or its people. Diplomatic efforts to resolve the situation failed miserably. China simply ignored agreements to de-escalate, showcasing its disregard for diplomatic norms and international pressure. The standoff exposed the stark limits of informal deals and highlighted the reality of China's coercive power. It was a wake-up call for the region and the world. The Philippines realized it needed a new strategy, one that didn't rely solely on military force. It was time to think outside the box and explore alternative avenues. The answer lay in taking the fight to the courtroom, not the battlefield. Legal avenues offered a new hope for asserting their rights. Scarborough Shoal became a symbol of lost ground, but also a catalyst for a bold legal move. It was a turning point that inspired a new approach. The Philippines decided to challenge China not with ships, but with the power of international law. This was a strategic shift that would redefine the conflict. This shift in strategy caught the world's attention. The international community watched closely as the Philippines embarked on this legal journey. The legal battle was about to begin, setting the stage for a new chapter in the South China Sea dispute. The outcome would have far-reaching consequences for international maritime law and regional stability. Outmatched at sea, the Philippines launched a legal offensive. In 2013, it filed a case against China at the Permanent Court of Arbitration, invoking UNCLOS, the goal to invalidate China's 9-dash line and clarify maritime rights. The Philippines argued that China's claims had no legal basis and that many disputed features were just rocks, not islands. This legal strategy shifted the conflict to a level playing field, international law. China refused to participate, calling the case illegitimate, but the tribunal pressed on. The world watched as Manila made its case, framing the dispute as a test of the rules-based order. The outcome would have global implications. The stage was set for a landmark ruling. In July 2016, the tribunal delivered a sweeping victory for the Philippines. It ruled China's 9-dash line had no legal basis and that China had violated the Philippines' rights within its EEZ. None of the disputed features could generate their own EEZs, and China's island building was condemned. The ruling was binding, even if unenforceable, and transformed the dispute into a matter of international law. For the Philippines, it was a moral and legal triumph. For China, a major blow to its narrative. The decision reshaped the diplomatic landscape. The Philippines now held the legal high ground. Armed with the tribunal's ruling, the Philippines shifted to global diplomacy. It framed the dispute as a defense of international law, not just a local quarrel. Major powers, like the US, Japan, and Australia, endorsed the ruling and called for freedom of navigation. Naval patrols by these countries challenged China's claims and reinforced the legal order. The Philippines kept the issue alive in ASEAN and built regional consensus. By internationalizing the dispute, Manila raised the diplomatic cost for China's actions. Every incident became a global concern, not just a local one. The world's attention became a powerful shield. Despite the legal setback, China intensified its gray zone tactics. Its Coast Guard and maritime militia swarmed disputed areas, blocking Filipino vessels and intimidating fishermen. These actions stopped short of war, but made daily life dangerous for Filipinos at sea. Water cannons, ramming, and floating barriers became routine. China's goal: make its control a reality, regardless of the law. For the Philippines, every patrol and resupply mission became a test of resolve. Manila responded with transparency, publicizing China's actions to rally global support. The struggle shifted to a war of attrition and information. The Philippines had to innovate to keep up. The contest was now as much about narrative as territory. The BRP Sierra Madre, a rusting Watu ship grounded on 2nd Thomas Shoal, is the front line of Philippine defiance. Manned by Marines, it's a crumbling outpost and a powerful symbol of sovereignty. China wants it gone, blockading resupply missions and hoping the ship will collapse or be abandoned. Each resupply run is a high-stakes drama, with journalists documenting China's aggressive tactics. The world watches as the Philippines turns every mission into a statement of resistance. The Sierra Madre is more than a ship, it's a message. The Philippines will not yield. China's pressure is relentless, but the outpost endures. The battle here is as much about global perception as control of the sea. The Sierra Madre stands as a testament to creative, courageous resistance. The Philippines' struggle in the West Philippine Sea offers vital lessons. Power isn't just military or economic, it's also legal, diplomatic, and moral. By leveraging international law and global opinion, Manila showed small nations can stand up to giants. The 2016 ruling remains a cornerstone, legitimizing the Philippines' claims and rallying support. Assertive transparency and alliances have become key tactics. The conflict is far from over, but the Philippines' resilience is a model for others. In a world of great power competition, rules and solidarity still matter. The story is unfinished, but the lessons will echo for decades. The Philippines has shown that courage, strategy, and law can outsmart brute force. The fight for the West Philippine Sea is a fight for the future of international order.